can't work. Taylor can't work. Cole can't work. Dave can't work. Cody's still painting here and there, but
we're almost like real musicians now. None of us have jobs.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Restart.
Fresh aux cord.
Round 2.
Fresh aux cord. That's all it took. Sweet. Okay. So intro number 2 for this podcast episode. Sitting down with the Snake Pit boys. Super excited. I feel like there's going to be some good banter, some good things. They're here to talk about their upcoming record. And my dog wants to leave, but he will eventually lay down. Okay, I'll let you out. All right. How about we just start with Cole and then work our way down the member list. So if you guys can just say your name and what you do in the band.
Hey, I'm Cole. I do vocals / just overall fucking badass motherfucker, I just do vocals.
Well, and the art.
Yeah, and the art.
And the
I guess the art and the shirts.
Yeah.
And other stuff. But everyone knows that. I just do.
I would love on the band, like what everyone does, it's like vocals and then comma
Shirts.
art.
Yeah.
Shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keyboard.
Business manager.
DJ. Yeah. IG guy.
That's motherfucker.
Yeah, there we go. And that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah. Dave, how about you go next?
Hey, I'm Dave. I just play guitar really fast and hopefully play things right. So,
Hey, me too, man.
Yeah, cool. And then let's go to the third and final square with the 3 boys.
Hi, I'm
there.
Frank. I play the drums really fast and try not to play things right.
You try not to play things right. Interesting.
Well, no, I you know what I mean.
Are you sure?
Unique brand,
He drums better than he talks.
Pretty much.
Yeah, what he said.
You want to go?
I'm Taylor. I play guitar.
The guitar.
Also fast and
Really fast.
Yeah.
try to play right again.
No, you play left.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Oh, I like that.
Oh.
Fucking weirdo.
Yeah, right. I'm Cody. I played the bass perfectly, unlike everybody else. Every time. I don't know. That's all you need to know, man. You're about to learn more anyways. So.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Cool. Well, I know Snake Pit as a band overall, like, has, been around for many years. And I think I kind of want to get into the origins about how the band formed and kind of how you guys have moved in a more metal direction now. Maybe Frank can kind of start off with giving just a little history lesson for those listening who might not know about how things came together. And if you could like timestamp years, that would be, pretty helpful as well.
Well, we can certainly try.
Yeah. It does go back.
She's a little fuzzy. There's beer involved.
So if we go way back to the start, pretty much Cody and I are the only original members left, really. When we first started the band, I was just the front man and vocalist. And we went through a bunch of drummers, Andrew Higgins and Nathan Pope, Jeff Oman. And we had 2 drummers lined up. They couldn't make a show, and we just decided that I would learn all the songs on drums and that I would start playing drums again. So that's kind of how I started drumming for the band. And then we set up a mic stand, and I was able to do a little yelling with drumming. And then it just kind of led into we
What it
started
is.
like, yeah. And then we started to hang out with Taylor a bit more again after high school, and then he joined the band because we wanted a guy to like rip solos and shit.
Yeah. At that point, that was a third guitar player.
At that point, we had 3 guitar players.
Yeah.
Because
fuck yeah.
Two of which are not in the band anymore. Which eventually Dave replaced Dre.
It's been about 2-3 years now, I think, Dave.
Yeah, 3 years.
Yeah, about 3 years now.
Yeah.
So
and Dave's
Kinda
like far away from home as far as like, where you were.
But
born,
like the
so.
original band, we started in like late 2013, mid 2013.
Yeah.
Our first release was early 2014, like January. And yeah, that was like 6 years ago. We haven't released anything.
yeah, we've been ghosts pretty much since. And now we're back.
Well, you guys have been like, especially in the last few years, especially like kind of at the same time that Scope was kind of starting. That's when I started to see you guys a lot more. Obviously, like Cole joining in with the band kind of like brought in a new flavor as well.
Yeah, that's where I was kind of getting at with the newest member being Cole. That's kind of when we started to step our game up again. Having Cole in the band too helped a lot because he's just always like, "Hey, I printed a new shirt for us today." Like, "Oh, okay, sick." So it's kind of helped us have a new, fresh, like band member that drives the rest of the band to kind of keep going because we've been doing this for so long and kind of lacked motivation for a few years there. And
yeah, it was kind of like a strange time in between because like, yeah, it was a very traditional start, regular band, whatever. Some members came and went, everything on good terms. Of course, people moved, whatever, did the best for themselves, whatever. So happy to get Dave and Cole obviously in on it too. But there was definitely a period in the middle, like a little before Scoped, like you said, where yeah, we'd already been kind of established. People in the scene kind of knew who we were. But we weren't doing nothing. I mean, we lost Dre, who was a big part of it. He's off doing great things, so good for him. But yeah, we had a lull, and then we got Dave in, and he started to find his spot, and write some sweet riffs, and really getting in his zone. And then okay, Cole comes in, and wow, we finally have a dedicated vocalist again, which was a big key we were missing. Plus everything else that he brings too. So, and then yeah, now we're at where we are today, and like a lot of these songs we were sitting on for a long time, and now we got a whole 10-track about to come out. So yeah. It's nice. It's sick.
A lot of new stuff.
It's nice to be doing stuff again, that's for sure. Yeah, lots of new stuff. Yeah, much more metal. We were a lot more like straight from the path, metalcore kind of before, and just kind of evolved with the taste of the new members, and I know what we all personally like. So
I must say I'm happy about it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So long story short, we've been writing a record for 6 years now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Kind of going back to what you're saying, like as far as the band starting more in the, hardcore, or a branch of hardcore. And now you guys are definitely more on the metal side. And, I personally like, comparing the two, like I tend to gravitate more on the metal side as far as like your guys' creativity has really like evolved. I think there are certain bands, especially in the hardcore space, that do start a certain way and then go down a certain path, or like more influences of other stuff outside of hardcore tend to start to bleed through. Something off the top of my head would be like Code Orange, as far as like starting a little bit more hardcore spastic, but now it's like very new metal, like Nine Inch Nails influence, kind of industrial stuff in the mix. So what was your guys' thought process when Cole joined and it was like, oh, like the riffs we're writing are more like this versus like, like beat down or hardcore, so to speak?
I think ultimately the goal was always to kind of flourish into what we're doing now. Like we've always been metalheads. Like we just have always been part of that local hardcore scene. So there's always a little bit of influence in everything we've done, but I don't think
naturally,
we never were like anywhere near being like just a hardcore band either. And I think my favorite thing about SNAKEPIT has been how we don't really have much of a genre. Like every song, like everything we write is just different from the last. not necessarily good, but it's different than the last song.
But still have that, like, you know,
which
your
which you guys will
fingerprint
definitely
on it.
hear. Which you guys will definitely hear when we release this record.
Yeah.
I mean, as any metalhead knows too, like growing up listening to metal, like I'm sure I can speak for most people in the room, like it always got heavier and heavier and heavier. Like, okay, like, I mean, my first show was Aussie, sweet metal, that's the roots, right? But then it just got heavier and heavier, you know, see Megadeth, and then you're going to see death metal bands. It's always got to be heavier and heavier. And it all happened naturally too, right? I mean, we had what we had before with the influences of, you know, Dre and Taylor writing together with Connor before too. You know, they had their own influences, and it just came naturally with what we were writing. And, you know, now with Dave and Taylor, and they sit down and they riff together and they come up with some sweet, it just gets heavier now. It just is what it is, right? It came naturally. And yeah, it's definitely heavier than what it used to be, but it's what we've all evolved into. It's, you know, nothing more to say other than it kind of just came naturally, right? You know?
Well, it flowed into the sound. The change in our sound kind of went along with the change in members and stuff too, right? Different people, different
musical tastes,
input, musical input. So, yeah.
Here's a question for Cole. You know, joining into a band, and you know, like ever since I've known you, you've been like, you know, a metalhead. So was it a challenge for you, at least joining up with this band that maybe traditionally had more like hardcore styled vocals, and you guys were still playing those older songs, but you still wanted to kind of do your own thing, but still paid homage to past members and vocal styles as well? Was that challenging for you?
It wasn't really challenging, but I mean, like I found these guys like a long time ago when I first started going to shows. Like SNAKEPIT was one of the first bands that I started taking photos for. And then just like, it's crazy how I've been around watching them grow as a band, but then I'm in it now, I guess. And just seeing the tastes like change over the years. And I've always known these guys can riff, and like, they're always been super metal and heavy music over the years anyways. Right. So it wasn't really challenging adding like a death metal style vocal or you know, more of like a metal influence on it, you know?
Sure. And you know, like, I think, you know, the whole process of like, you know, documenting bands, like I will continue to say it from the rooftops, but like, it's so cool to see, you know, things progress. You know, like the very first podcast that we've ever done is with Cole, and he wasn't even in SNAKEPIT at the time, but, you know, still, like he just said, like, spoke very highly of you guys, and, you know, one of the first bands that I think you took photos of even.
Definitely.
But even on the video side, like, we have sets of SNAKEPIT prior to Cole on vocals, and now we do have stuff with him on vocals. So it's, you know, it's cool to see the evolution of that.
Well, you know, I think that Scope actually, I mean, to be completely honest and throw this in real quick, it even helped us get some little thunder, man. I mean, you guys do a great job. I mean, obviously we've told you many times, but you guys have so much footage of us, like you said, right? You've documented our evolution too over the last couple of years. So it's cool. And that was definitely a boost too. Throw that in.
Yeah. And thank you for saying that. I'll make sure to take out this segment. I didn't ask you to say that, obviously, but I appreciate the kind words, Cody.
Yeah.
We got to give you a plug, man. Come on.
Yeah.
$80.
So speaking on that, like, obviously, you know, I'm not sure of the actual amount of sets that, you know, I or Jordan or the team overall have captured of you guys, but, you know, you guys have been super cool with kind of just like what the set is what we put out versus being nitpicky of like, hey, we kind of screwed up this song. Do you mind like taking out this song? Like, you guys are very authentic.
I would feel more bad for you, to be honest.
That's always been the way we've been about stuff. It's kind of, you know, I think a lot of bands, and you know, there's nothing wrong with being super serious and very nitpicky about stuff. That is definitely part of making music or art of any kind. But you know, over the years, I think a lot of what we did was just more for the being able to play the music and being able to kind of have a good time doing it, and not, you know, looking to get some sort of recognition for being able to be perfect or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's more organic that way. So that's kind of why we don't get too fussy over stuff.
Yeah, we're just having fun.
Yeah.
We just play what we want to hear and fucking have fun doing it, man.
Yep.
Playing shows is like one of the most fun things in probably all of our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Like I could play a show every day, man. It's just I don't care about anything else. I just like playing in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
We hear something we don't like, we'll fix it for the next one, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think of the very first time I put you guys on the channel, Cole wasn't on vocals yet, but there was you guys are very good at like if there's a mess up, playing it off like it's whatever, like, you know, not
we wrote it that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or something.
I honestly, I think we.
There you go.
Story of my life, bro.
I think we've actually gotten a lot of recognition for our attitude.
Right.
Like,
that's interesting.
You know, like just people see that we're just having fun, and then they seem to enjoy it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Going back a little bit to like, you know, the process of the band and writing music, can you guys talk a little bit about how, you know, who's the main like riff doctor and who's coming up with stuff, how you guys like meld stuff together and galvanize it in a way?
It's Dave.
I don't know your order of video here, but Dave is definitely below us. Dave, why don't you talk a bit about recording, man?
I don't know. Like I honestly have never really been like methodical at all with how I make like songs and stuff. It just kind of, I don't know. I have no idea whatever happens. Like I'm just playing guitar one day and just something catches my ear and I just kind of stick with it, keep playing it over and over again, kind of just seeing if I can like dig out a little bit more from it. And usually I find out it's like, I don't know, I can like make a few riffs and like, man, like I don't know where to go with this at all. And then I'll just come to jam one day, I'll have a break and Taylor and I will sit and I'll be like, hey, I can just bounce this riff off of you. And just playing with Taylor, it can just like, him just like doing a few things, it just gives more ideas flowing and it just kind of presses the song forward, I suppose. So like, I guess that's kind of my best method of like breaking writer's block is just like sitting with somebody, even if like, maybe he's just playing it with me, even though we're just playing the same thing, just something can come out of that from me just being inspired with another person's presence. I'm not really too sure.
Yeah, it is
Feed
very
off each other.
Yeah, it is very, you know, like it's one thing, like every band is different as far as like it's one person writing the entire songs and sending it to the guys, but there is something, for lack of a better term, magical when you can like bring something and then someone else comes and you're like, I could have never thought of how to play this at a half speed or like, you know, change up the time signature or anything like that.
Exactly. Or like, or jamming with like Frank too, just having a drummer along with you as you're trying to figure stuff out is like, does wonders. Like it just can make things a lot more concrete and just gets the ideas really going.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you get like the guitar with some drums, you feel the fullness of it, and then it helps. Like you can hear something with the drums on it, and then it'll change now, and then it'll sound better playing it differently. But you can't know that without like jamming it all together.
Yeah, exactly. Because like, I don't know, when it's just one guitar, sometimes it just feels like noise all you're making. But once there's like a solid rhythm behind it, it's like it becomes more cohesive, and you can actually get an idea of an end goal.
For sure. We had a bunch of different approaches. Like we used to, like for the longest time, you know, jam twice a week. Of course, not now because of everything that's going on. But you know, jam twice a week, and you know, jam day, write day, whatever. But when we really got down to the nitty gritty, the end of the album, it was like, okay, we got to tighten a couple things up. We have the vocal guys who come out, you know, work on strictly vocals. Dave, Taylor go inside, really mesh together. Of course, to add on what you guys were saying about working together, you know, they got their own styles. Taylor's very death metal. Always has been. Block his face with it. I don't even know. Dave, maybe just a little more of the thrash influence, I guess, but it comes together, and really that's the best way. People are like, what do you guys sound like? Oh, I don't know, like a thrash death metal band. Pretty much. So.
Right. I'm super ADD too. So like,
oh yeah.
Sit down and actually write a complete song just in my spare time it's just never something I've been particularly good at.
Right.
I'll have kind of a handful of riffs that I like and kind of sort of remember. So, you know, Dave will come in with a string of stuff and, you know, be like, we should put something here. Like you said, and like, well, I'll either have like something in my brain that kind of is like, oh, maybe that'll work, or we'll just kind of come up with something on the fly. So that's kind of, I've always been better at like contributing just little nuggets here and there to things versus actually like sitting down and working out an entire song by myself.
Yeah.
It's just, I find it difficult, you know, and I sit around a lot, and just when I'm playing, it's like, I'll play a whole bunch of riffs that are really neat and just completely forget them 5 seconds later. So it's yeah, like I've never been particularly good at that.
Yeah. So as far as the so we've talked about the musical aspect, like, but if anyone knows anything about SNAKEPIT or have seen you guys, there's a lot of vocal duties that don't just fall on the vocalist. There's Frank, who's doing vocals, and Cody. I'm not sure if Taylor and Dave are doing vocals as well, but
I have one line.
You have one line.
Everybody.
Usually just
So yeah, we all have a part.
Everybody's got one word at least.
Yeah.
Right.
That's all I need.
So, so who, like, in the, like, we don't really need to focus on the, like, what happened in the past as far as, like, for this new record. Is it Cole writing everything and kind of being like, okay, I want someone to echo this area and to go from that?
Basically,
I'm listening. I'm just getting Marty on my lap, so.
For this record, I mean, in the past, we kind of, like, most of the lyrics I wrote. Dre helped a lot back when he was still in the band. But since Cole joined, we've kind of, Cody, myself, and Cole all worked together on the lyrics, because we're kind of like, Cole is, you know, the front man, so we've kind of established him as the main vocalist now, you know, considering he's not playing an instrument as well. But we're still doing, you know, Cody and I doing vocals on almost every song with him too.
Yeah.
But
like Frank does just as much. He does quite a bit of vocals. Almost
yeah, Frank is still like, it's that key still. Like, Frank's very key. I mean, you know, of course, it's Francis, duh. But I mean, but really, what would be a release, you know, without Frank's? You know, I mean, that is a SNAKEPIT signature. I mean, that's Frank is, like you said, one of the original guys. But yeah, Cole's got, like, you know, we threw him in deep. We collabed together. We pretty much wrote everything for the most part together. Cole would come quite often with a lot of lyrics, which are great. Like, it's just meant to be brutal, right? It's pretty much death metal stuff, and it's fun, and it's just evil. It's fun. It's fictional, right? But we all had a big part in it, and we all do. I mean, Cole is definitely like the front man, and Frank has still quite a bit of duty. And, like, you know, I'm on most of the songs. I think a good at least half.
Well, yeah. A lot of guest vocals too on this.
We have three friends doing guest vocals on 3 different tracks. So bangers, man. I can't say how
those will come out with the release.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
Secret. Unfortunately, we didn't get Dave or Taylor to drop any vocals on it though. But next time.
They gotta do it live.
Right.
Yeah.
They're on some of the other songs that we'll still play live
for
as
sure.
well.
Yeah.
I am not a vocalist, so that's why.
Yeah.
We are working on more songs down the road too, and, you know, we want to keep writing and pushing out some content in the next little bit. So,
Dave, what's the one line that you have on the record?
Not on the record.
It's on the record.
It's not on the record. You just have a live line.
Yeah, live.
They're actually both on the same song.
Oh, okay. You're like,
yeah, that's right.
I didn't even know that.
Only one song, guys. Sorry.
But it's really short.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both on a song that's about a minute long. It's called Fuck.
Yeah, the Fuck track.
Right.
It's on an old release, which they weren't on the release. Well, Taylor was.
Yeah.
But,
cool.
Yeah, that's an old song we released in 2014.
Right.
With before Dave was in the band. But
are you
there's a line now.
What's happening? So talking about again with the new record, can you guys pronounce or name what it is and when it's coming out, and maybe we can transition into just talking about the recording process, because you guys flew out Dre, who used to be in the band, to kind of be the octopus as far as handling all the recording aspects.
Yeah, he played a big part in it. But Cole, you should
Definitely.
definitely talk about the album name and the inspiration.
For sure. So it's called Eternal Conflagration, which basically just means like a flame being conjured. I originally had painted like a giant, our album cover. I painted it, and that's what I called it. So then I guess I just used that as our kind of theme for the record, and yeah, it's just kind of like about a flame being conjured underneath the earth by like cave people, and yeah, they're just
And it burns for eternity.
it's burning for eternity. Yeah, that's pretty much
like fire.
just metal shit, I guess, is kind of
Yeah,
what the theme
it's
is.
very metal. It's got flames.
Well, that's
it's
kind of
got
the theme. Like
eternal-
we knew early on. We knew early on that was most likely going to be the name and the theme for the record. So that's kind of the main lyrical theme for most of the album. Like, you know, it's not like a concept record. You know, we have different shit all over it.
Dark, evil, scary, a little
it's,
gory sometimes.
you know,
Metal, man. What more
Burn
do you
in
want?
hell, fucking metal shit. You know,
Yeah,
shit we like.
pretty much, man. It's all about having fun, man.
Yeah.
It's cheesy. Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
And then so talk to me about like the thought process of like flying out someone who, you know, like, you know, because
well,
there's an added cost to like, you know, bringing
Well,
someone
Dre-
from out of city, but
He works for
talk to me about
WestJet, so
that.
he gets deals.
Oh, shout out WestJet.
He works for Air Canada, but yeah.
This
Uh,
record is
or Air
sponsored by WestJet.
Yeah, right. No,
Anyways,
yeah.
we're not like, you know, I don't want to talk about any like pricing or anything, but like,
Oh, for sure. You don't have to.
it was very feasible to do it. And Dre is someone like, you know, our old SNAKEPIT releases when he was in the band, he had a big part in recording it then.
Sure.
And we knew what he's capable of. And, you know, I was in Sellout with Dre as well, and he did both our records at the time, mixed and mastered, and it turned out great.
Mm-hmm.
So we knew it would be, you know, definitely more costly to go with probably literally anyone else.
Yeah.
And we would have to get some sort of studio space or whatever. So financially feasible, and someone we trusted, someone that knew, you know, even helped write some of the songs that are on it, because they're some of the older songs are on the record.
Cool.
So that worked out really well because he understands what we wanted out of it.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted him to be a part of it. Like,
And we wanted him to be a part of it. You know,
Yeah.
like he's not a band member anymore, but you know, he's still part of
he's
the
forever
family.
part of the band. He knows that too.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So
Part of the family, so to speak.
and
Exactly.
one of the guest vocalists is another previous member as well, just to kind of keep everyone part of the little thing we're doing here. And
Yeah.
but it worked out because he really wanted to do it, which also helped. He came and did it. He took a week off to come visit his hometown, which worked great.
And his boys, you know.
Well,
we
his
were
hometown
able
after he was like,
we were able to do the drums at my parents' house because it sounded pretty good. So, you know, saved money on all the space. We went to Chad and Colby's. They live with
Mike Wells.
Mike Wells. And they've been doing their rap thing, and they built a vocal booth. So
Mm-hmm.
we borrowed the vocal booth,
We tracked all
to
guitars there too and everything.
track guitars and vocals and stuff.
That was the studio, was their basement.
yes.
Yeah.
So that really helped a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we appreciate that.
since then we've been, you know, back and forth with Dre sending us mixes and
Yeah, he's mixing,
all that.
mastering, and everything. Like, this whole album was
But-
built on friends and fam. Like,
pretty much right
everybody
now.
helped us do it. Like,
But right now we're
Left
at the
and right.
point we're getting close to we're starting the mastering process pretty quick here. So
Yeah. Cool.
we're near the end of the tunnel, and it's been a long road, and we're really excited.
we're hyped. It
Yeah.
sounds so stuck.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah. And as far as like, you know, like there's a number, like this whole quarantine thing has, you know, kind of been a weird thing, especially for a lot of bands. You know, some bands
Sorry.
have lucked out as far as either having things already recorded and it's just a matter of releasing it. And then some, even like myself, like I play in bands where we need to record either guitars or drums, but a lot of people who are recording stuff are just playing it safe as far as not allowing other people into their circle, which I can totally respect. So maybe tell me on what you guys are thinking as far as how to make this, because obviously you guys have put a lot of hard work, a lot of well-earned dollars into making this album, something that's special. So how are you trying to work with the current societal conditions to make this release still be something to look back on and stoked on?
Well, for one, just what we're doing right now is something we can do during the quarantine, which is great because, people can't go to shows right now or can't. So the best thing we can do right now for people is to release some content online for them to enjoy at home.
Right.
Which is another thing, like we kind of fast tracked it a little bit too, so that we can release sooner than we had originally anticipated, just so that people can have something to do at home.
Yeah.
We are going to be doing a music video as well. So that's coming out at some point. We still have to shoot it. But
yeah.
But we got really lucky timing wise when we decided to record, because we kind of finished all the recording for this before this crisis kind of hit, like right before.
Yeah, just made the
So that was good because the whole mixing process, we don't need to all be in the same room. So
right.
We got lucky timing wise, but it sucks for everyone right now. Like, I know personally I'm on EI right now and can't work. Taylor can't work. Cole can't work. Dave can't work. Cody's still painting here and there, but
we're almost like real musicians now. None of us have jobs.
Yeah. So,
upgrade.
I think the best thing we can do right now is just spend time at home and reflect and maybe write some new songs.
Yeah, like
we will play, of course, a show after this. Everybody else that was going to release. We had stuff where we were going to plan a show, this and that. We were in the process, but we'll do it after, and we're going to have a sweet show. I'm sure there's going to be lots of shows when everybody can go back out. So I think everybody's looking forward to that. It's going to be nice.
And I think it's like,
there's been talks of doing a big show with Calgary bands, and I know you're involved in that potentially too. So
yeah. Well,
it'd be sweet to do. It'd be sweet, like when the crisis kind of ends, like just a bunch of Calgary bands got together and did like a 10-band bill or something. That'd be awesome. Like just local bands.
COVID Fest.
Back in action.
COVID Fest.
COVID Fest. Yeah.
Post vid-19.
If there's anything I've learned is
that implies that it's coming back though.
Right. Well, it's kind of like the one thing. That if I've learned anything from talking to people or musicians about this is like, if you were doing something like that, just don't put it on the poster, because I've heard stories where bands are trying to set up shows mid COVID-19 quarantine and promoters or venue owners essentially canceling the show because they're like, oh, is this promoting the virus? Like, not in my books.
Yeah, I don't know. We saw like that death metal coronavirus band logo thing that was going around. I was like, it's funny, but at the same time, I'm not some sensitive guy. Right? But I was like, I really like cool, good idea, dude. Like,
right, exactly.
Whatever. I don't care about that kind of stuff.
People are a little crazy right now, so
yeah.
I mean, the best thing anyone can do right now is just stay home and just hunker down and wait for it to pass, because it will pass.
Yep.
And all we can do as performers and entertainers is try to give them some content at home. Or just discuss things like we're doing now.
Get some more content and entertainment ready for the people.
I don't know about anyone else, but I love watching my favorite bands do what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And even if we don't fucking actually talk about anything real, we're just shooting the shit. Like,
yeah,
it feels like you're hanging out with your favorite band, Like, it's great.
It's been so lonely.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, there's been a fair amount of banter on the podcast, but since you guys are all friends of mine, I felt like I could kind of ask some more hard-hitting questions, let's say.
Fuck
So
yeah.
I've written 10 most likely to fill in the blank questions, and as a band, I want you guys to single out those people and fight amongst yourselves.
Yay.
So maybe instead of going 1 through 10, I'll let Cole say a number between 1 and 10, and then I'll just kind of work around, just so it's not.
Yeah,
like the
give
very
everybody a
first
turn.
Yeah.
This should be fun.
Okay. 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who's most likely to be at the merch table at a show?
Frank.
Frank.
Yeah.
Slinging all the merch.
Like just playing games on my phone or trying to catch my breath.
air drying from the set.
Yeah.
Honorable mention maybe to Haley, his
Haley.
girlfriend,
Or Haley. Yeah, Haley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haley, my girlfriend, has done a lot of footage as well, especially since Cole can't take pictures of us anymore.
Yeah.
But she's been probably over the year, or since we've been together, at least the last 3 to 4 years, being a big part of the SNAKEPIT shows, coming to take pictures and helping with merch, like almost every show. Like
Yeah.
Very grateful.
so we got to mention
Shout
her.
out to Haley. She's awesome.
Yeah. That's
So
always,
she'd probably be at the merch table more than all of us.
yeah. Yeah, and I'll quickly, say something on that, because I think it's always interesting when like a photographer or like even myself, like a videographer, man, my dog is crying. Just as far as like, I'm on the other side of the lens now, and ideally I'd like, my band to still have photos or someone to take video. So shout out to all the people that kind of fill the gaps when me or Cole or, someone else. So like Jordan, Carissa, Haley, shout out to all those.
I wanted to mention
people.
before we move on, shout out to Carissa as well, Dave's girlfriend. She's done a lot of pictures for us and
Lots of
stuff
media.
too.
Yeah. Lots of behind the scenes stuff as well, I've seen.
Big family behind this stuff, man. The
Yeah.
whole band and everything. We're very appreciative of all of our friends. That's for sure.
What is that TLC show where it's like 18 kids and counting, but it's just like Snake Pit or something?
18 different members.
18 metal dudes and counting.
Yeah, SNAKEPIT is the new Slipknot for sure.
Yeah.
More like how much can a uterus take?
Okay,
Oh,
let's
yeah,
let's jump. Well, Frank, since you got reamed out, you get to pick the next one.
9.
there you go, boys. Save it to time.
Okay. Who's most likely
what I
to
did.
forget how a part in a new song goes?
Oh, Cole. No, fuck. Like,
All of us
That's a
here.
tough one.
Probably me.
I'd probably say Cody. Yeah.
I do too a lot.
Oh, hey, Dave, what's this part?
I forget a lot too, like when we're still kind of writing a song.
Yeah.
But once it's like engraved into my brain, I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
But definitely in the writing process, it'll be like we'll go to play a new song that we wrote last jam or something.
Yeah,
I'll be like, we'll start playing. I'm like, just forgot the entire song.
Like,
somebody
what
else
is this
started this,
alien
I remember that.
language?
Yeah.
Jog my memory.
But then you start playing it and you like instantly remember the whole thing. And you're like,
For
okay,
sure.
it's not riding a bike.
Comes
I
back.
think the better answer is Dave is least likely to.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's
We're all
yeah.
we're all guilty of it. Dave is least likely.
That's a good one.
There you go.
Sweet. Cody, how about you pick the next one?
3.
Who's most likely to be late to practice?
Taylor.
Yeah.
I fucking live here.
Yeah, Eddie lives here. He'll be there.
He'll
But
be
he'll be
there, but he
late.
won't be
And
there.
it's never, he's a hardworking guy.
It's
busy,
usually working late or something.
He's usually working late.
Yeah.
Most of us are in the trades, right? So, I mean, we've all been late, but sometimes he'll
Probably.
be late. But that's
Yep.
okay.
Right.
He'll come in and he'll just throw his guitar on and
Yeah.
crack beer and
Yeah. At
Really
least
not
the
there.
person who's
try to remember the song.
at least the person who's
It's like
late the
he was there the whole
most
time.
is the closest to the jam space technically.
Yeah,
So
yeah, we
that's
both
good.
sleep next to it in different beds, different rooms.
Yeah,
Well,
I
it
love
depends on-
boyfriends.
right
depends
beside
on the
each other.
night,
I mean,
Love boyfriends though.
We're both lonely, so like.
Our doors are only right across from each other.
Yeah.
Always open.
We're an
We
arm's
live
length
together.
away,
We all live together in the Le Chateau Snake Pit, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Les
Yes.
Chateaux.
Le Chateau.
Le Chateau Snack Pit, Mousetrap. Ouais. I think I said it right?
Taylor, how about you pick next?
There's no more multiples of 3 left. Shit.
It's true.
I'll go with 10. The Big 10.
Who's the most likely to struggle to get time off work for a show?
Honestly, I'd say either Taylor and I in the winter time because we plow at night
Right.
a lot.
On call.
But other than that, I would say Dave
probably
because
Dave.
Dave usually has the later in the day shifts.
Yeah.
Like
So it is
sometimes he'll work
it's
till
seasonal.
9 or whatever.
Actually, well, not anymore. No, I only work till 4 nowadays. So
Well,
Yeah, you just got a new.
just in the past, I guess. Yeah.
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 That's
other
probably
than
where we
winter-
experience it the most.
But I mean,
winter, we're all pretty good.
we've
Yeah.
all, like you kind of plan for shows, right? It's
Right.
never like, oh, we're playing a show tomorrow. Like,
So yeah, shows are okay. Jams,
so- so it's, and we're all committed enough that if it's a show or work, like we're playing the fucking show.
Right.
yeah, like you've got a
Fuck
set
work,
plowing after. So
I've
Oh,
done
yeah.
that more than once.
Like the
Plow
sellout
truck
show.
and gone to work.
Man, the sellout show, man. I remember I was up all night too, and then sellout did their last show in February. It was last year or something, or 2 years
Yeah, I
ago.
played like an hour and a half long
Yeah,
set.
And it went till like
2019.
1 in the morning, and then like 2.5 hours later, him and I are meeting up in a snow-covered parking lot. And be like, "Well, here's the coffee. Let's go, dude!" Like another like 17 out. Man, we were crazy, but
Wow.
That's the snow
Holy-
removal life.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking done with that.
Anytime I rewatch that set now, I'm just gonna be like, this man's gonna go plow snow for.
yeah.
this guy's
Yeah,
like,
that was a
sucks.
long night, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was there in the plow truck and left right out.
Yeah, he came to the show from plowing, and I went back out. Yeah,
I was like, I'm not missing the last fucking show. Not missing it.
great.
I told him, I'm like,
Man.
Which was filmed by Scope.
Scope,
Another
exposure.
plug.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
That was I think probably one of the first times we had filmed something. Oh, you said. That was I think that was one of the first times that we actually filmed 2 shows happening at the same time, just in different cities. So like I was out in Vancouver
Right.
and did DBK, and you reached out to me about doing this, and I was like, this is
Well,
a
that was
really
the first time. That was the first time we worked together too.
yes,
Like,
yeah, that is true.
Scope and myself.
Yeah, but
So-
I remember Jordan was just starting to kind of do some things in the team,
Yeah.
and I was like, hey, here's this show. These guys, like it was clearly like an important set to film. Like as far as your guys' last show, you guys like sold out Broken City. So yeah, that was shout out to Jordan and shout out to Sellout, because that was
Glad we
As
made
far
it
as-
happen.
making that happen. It like opened the doors, because there were so many times after that where there was a show in Edmonton and a show in Calgary like the same weekend. I'm like, okay, I'm up in Edmonton, Jordan's doing this, so that really
Yeah,
pushed
blow
that.
it
So,
up.
Another great
Let's
weekend
go.
that was too.
Yeah.
The one you're referencing. That was fun.
yeah. You guys having
Dave.
fun with this, or you wanna?
I love this.
Yeah,
this
let's
is
go.
great.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
last one was a good question. Yes.
Um,
I think it's Dave's turn.
sure,
Dave's
Dave
turn.
can pick.
Yeah.
2.
Well, we kind of talked about this, but this is when I asked about forgetting parts via practicing, but this is more who's the most likely to mess up while playing live.
Dude,
Probably me.
Like what?
All of us.
All of us.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to admit it.
Well, we honestly half the time, yeah, we like you were saying before, like we'll mess up and then we'll shrug it off like it didn't happen.
Right.
Yeah.
But sometimes you'll mess up and not even know that you messed up,
That's true.
and that happens a lot too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like well,
And then you'll be watching like the Scope video afterwards
Oh.
because we have the opportunity to do that.
Man,
now.
the common scope video for Snake Pit, I screw up. I think it's green.
So
Oh my god, I screwed up like the best part in green, and
I
it's
fucked
all in
something up,
footage.
too.
Yeah, you're just like, oh,
So
I turn around. Oh man,
it's actually really
we're all
nice.
guilty.
It's really nice having every show documented.
Yeah,
Then we can go back and go, okay, we've got to improve here,
Mhm.
or
Definitely.
we should do this differently.
Oh god, I hope somebody didn't notice that.
drink 2 less beers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone should just let me know how many beers everyone had so I can put that in the details of the video.
Yeah, 4 beer set. 2-4 set.
Yeah. Dave, you were
See,
gonna.
but I don't drink and I still fuck up.
Snake Pit, the guy's synonymous with having a bunch of beers on the stage.
Dave,
Well, you
you were
gotta
gonna
hydrate,
say
man.
something as far as this topic.
Oh, I'll just say like, yeah, like totally like we'll mess up without knowing it. Like, I think it was actually at that show, and like Frank just started like playing like a completely different like part of the song, but we're like all of us just look at him, and he's just playing like what?
Okay, new part, I guess.
But then I just keep going, and they'll
just figure it
they'll
out.
come in to what I'm doing.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
We've been playing. We play well together.
Yeah,
we know ourselves, and we know each other as musicians, and we know how to feed off of each other live
Right.
because we've done it for so long, and it's easy to make it seem like we meant to do that, and we're just having fun.
Yeah.
You know,
Like we're doing this now. So
That's the one benefit of not having a shitload of recordings is because we might notice the mess up.
Nobody knows.
Since nobody else has a reference
It's
to it.
true.
Yeah.
But
Now we have to really
They
step
won't
it up.
now we have to actually.
I think
Yeah,
people
now
know
we
what they're
have to
getting into though when they see Snake Pit. They know it's
well,
a lot of
especially
good time.
like some of the older songs too that are gonna pop up on this record. Like
They're so different.
I've been playing them for so long
Yeah.
that I just change it up live all the time just
Right.
to have fun with it.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're doing. We're just having fun. So even if we don't fuck up, it might still sound different.
Yeah. Well, it is cool, honestly, to like hear like songs being played live, and then once they actually are recorded and released, it's like, oh, they made that breakdown 2 times as long, or they like added in this little sample, like,
Yeah.
you know, stuff like that. Like people who really like certain bands can get really nerdy about. So
Oh yeah, we're about to get real nerdy, bud. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Holy,
You mentioned the Alliance or Horde one more fucking time.
that was off camera.
yeah, that was off camera. That's true. Okay, there's 5 left if you guys want to knock out
Cole,
the rest
I think
of
Cole's
this.
back up.
Yeah.
8.
8. Who's most likely to fall asleep in the van?
While driving or
Not anymore.
Hopefully, it's
I mean,
not while driving.
If you're not driving, maybe you, probably. He likes to have a nap.
It honestly depends because I don't sleep a lot.
Not anymore, yeah.
Like I stay up very late a lot, and then I'll get up early. Like especially if we're on a road trip to a show, like I'm usually wired. Like I wouldn't fall asleep.
He drives often. Like I mean,
And I do a lot of the driving.
he doesn't drink. Taylor and I like to enjoy a couple casual bevies. Sometimes
one or
some,
two.
some brouhahas. You know, every once in a while, Dave Cole might have one too. But 9 times out of 10, especially we had a couple beers or whatever, coming home from a show, he'll drive.
I think Cole's about to fall asleep right now.
He's like, wait, what question are we
He's
at?
like, dude,
Oh, I'm
something's
here.
right behind me.
I'm
just looking at his bed in the corner.
Hey, I'm here. I'm just chilling.
just having a good time.
It's like, fucking Frank, gonna shut up already?
I don't know. It's just nice having a cozy nap with your boys in the back of the van,
Yeah.
I don't personally like sleeping like when we're going
Period.
down the road too much
Oh,
unless
I
I
like-
absolutely have to. I prefer to just be awake and kind of have my eyes out the window,
Yeah.
Not him. He's the car guy, right? So he likes just driving anyway. So he'll be there for the ride every time.
Listening for squeals. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better cut off the exhaust right now.
Well, when it was my van, you had to be awake.
Yeah. Okay.
Classic.
I'm not sure who's next, but we have 1, 4, 5, and 7.
Fucking 1, baby.
All right.
Number 1.
Who's
Kenny, number 1.
who's most likely to fart mid practice?
Yeah. I am. And
I know
proud
this
of it.
because we jam together as well. So
I've been farting this whole.
Yeah, you all 3 of
Podcast.
you are elsewhere. We're here.
Yeah, this
we
is a
can back
really
that
bad
up.
spot to be.
just the
Yeah.
video just gets more hazy.
Yeah, Frank's a rootin' tootin' cowboy, let me tell you.
Man, I just got a lot to give, man.
Lots to share, lots of love.
I have a
Yeah.
lot. Fuck.
Hey, smell this.
Big love.
Percussive in all aspects. We'll put it that
There
way.
you go. There you go.
Well, okay,
Rumble
so
from
I didn't
down
write
under.
this one down, but there's farting the most, but who's got the worst odor? Or are they tied in your band?
Jeff Omen.
He's not in the band.
No, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Jeff Omen. What's up, baby? Dude.
Napalm
Jack. I was in a band with him, right? Like a touring band.
Hey,
and
he played a few shows for SNAKEPIT.
silent, but we all know the
Adam.
same. Dude, man, I can.
His name is Napalm Jeff.
Yeah, right.
I think out of us though, I'm almost gonna have to submit myself.
Probably him though. Yeah.
Yeah, I eat some pretty horrifying garbage most of the time. So when it comes out, it's not pleasant.
He did the ramen challenge too.
What's the
Yeah,
ramen
that was
challenge?
funny.
That came out the other end though.
No, it came out the same, man.
What's the
Oh,
ramen
man.
challenge?
That's the world's hottest noodles or whatever. You order
Oh, I see.
We'll send it to
It's
you.
fucking
Oh, we got it on video.
It's
It's really funny. It's really funny.
gross.
Don't eat anything while you're watching it.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Okay. Like it's that graphic. Because I was like, oh, I should take this clip and then throw that at the end, but I don't know if I'm gonna get
You
like
could do it where I
my
keep on
channel
a speaker.
Things were up in the air, so to speak.
Yeah.
gotcha.
Good hang time.
Oh man.
All right, what numbers do we got left?
We have 4, 5, and 7.
4, 5, and 7. So I went with 3 first, and 30 is like the big goalie number section.
This fucking.
We have to go with 4. My boy Kipper, 34.
Word.
4.
Get first.
Get us off the ice.
So I don't know as far as like if you guys go to shows, if you guys eat out as a band or anything, but who's most likely to order?
We can't afford that.
Okay. But who's most likely to order more food than they can eat?
But you'll eat it.
Yeah, but I hate myself.
You'll hate yourself.
Man. Taylor, you.
But as a
Don't
kid,
always
I always did that. My parents always, oh, your eyes are bigger than your plate.
Right.
Whatever. Just always order way too much shit, and I'm like, I'll eat it, I promise. And then I'm like full halfway through.
I'm the cheap guy, man. We'll roll up to like a drive-through with the friends, you know. And we're like, oh, what do you want? Oh, the combo, large fry, large drink, man. I'll be like, yeah, can I have a cheeseburger? That's all, thanks. Like, you know, like that's
Plain.
good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need to overeat. Definitely not me.
I think I'd still be the most likely to do that, though.
Yeah.
Frank likes his food, boys.
Like, it's not likely, but I'm still the most.
Right. Out of everyone.
We're all poor. We finish our food.
Yeah. No ramen shortage here.
No fucking waste in here, man.
Right.
We recycle and compost as well.
Wow.
Save the earth.
Save the earth as it burns down.
One metal album at a time.
One Australia at a time. Oh, Tuesday.
Well.
Jesus Christ.
We got 4 and 7. How about Dave? You pick.
Oh, Dave, yeah, that's good.
4.
No, I just did 4, didn't
So this applies to only 3 members of the band, but who's most likely to break a string?
I? Oh, man.
Taylor.
Dre.
Taylor.
Dre.
When Dre was still in the band, he broke a string every jam.
Almost
or
every
show.
jam.
No
Yeah.
matter, without fail. Every time.
But now it's
Yeah,
for
you
sure
have a couple
Taylor.
times.
I've broken a string most shows.
I
I've
haven't
gotten
broken
better
it
at putting
once.
these strings on.
You did once, right? I think at Upper Deck, was it?
Did I?
I think it was an Upper. I don't know if it was an Upper Deck. I knew you did. You did once. Yeah, you definitely did once. I think. I remember one time you had an issue.
That's my freaking. I'm a fraud.
Absolute fraud.
Yeah.
Always bring 2 guitars.
Have you broken a skin? I think did you ever break a skin in one of our shows?
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
yeah,
bro,
let's
bass
include
drum.
Frank.
Oh
in that
yeah. Let's
discussion.
talk about fucking.
Well, I broke the bass drum skin at that Vern's show.
Yeah.
We played with that.
Oh
metal
my
band.
God.
And we had to use that fucking.
I had to use the shitty
Fuck
bass
that
drum.
place.
We were on stage for like 5 minutes. Like,
What's his name?
what
But
do
I did just not in SNAKEPIT, but a sellout show one time. I did smash right through my snare skin. That was pretty wild.
Yeah.
He's a big strong boy.
Yeah,
He's 3 tongue full of sticks.
I have pictures of it too. My stick was like stuck in the snare skin. Yeah.
All right.
That was an outdoor show that was cold, so
Mm.
that helped.
Doesn't help. No. Okay. Last question. Who's most likely to buy a new piece of gear?
Oh, probably one of these two. Probably one of Taylor or Dave. Taylor or Dave
Well,
for sure.
Dave will like enter contests on Instagram or like fangirl over gear, but Taylor will be like buying guitars in pawn shops.
Taylor will go to Rondo and buy like $4 guitars.
Yeah.
Hey,
Like none of his guitars are worth anything, but he has like.
Hey, I have a
50
couple
of
that are nice.
He makes them nice. He makes them nice. He throws nice pickups at him and
Yeah.
paints some snake pit green.
Right.
Or Connor's guitar at least.
So Taylor will buy new used gear, but new to him.
Yeah.
But Dave might buy something a little bit more boutique that's actually brand new that no one's touched it before.
Maybe more often than not, yeah.
Just to touch back to like, just because Dre has a lot of history with this band, he was always on top, like just always has a new pedal.
The
Yeah.
gear master.
Every show.
Every show he'll buy a new pedal, use it for like 2 months, and then go sell it back to Lauren McQuaid and buy some new pedal.
Yeah.
Like just always like
Just goes through
every
the
show
cycle.
or jam, his pedal board was totally different.
Yeah.
Just always
I actually bought a lot of gear off
changing
Dre.
the sound.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
I
Yeah.
think 2 amps off Dre, like 6 pedals.
Yeah, Dre's in
Any of
there.
it.
In the recording for the new album, did you guys do a bunch of like pedal like effects and different things to kind of make certain song parts kind of stand out?
There's some stuff.
Some stuff,
Some
not
stuff,
like
yeah.
an excessive amount.
I feel like because like the genre, it's not like super necessary to have a whole lot of effects. Like
Sure.
metal's usually pretty straightforward, but for like some of the lead playing and stuff, there's like a few effects here to make them, like you said, stand out.
Yeah.
And we did like mess around and just like make a bunch of just gross noise with delay pedals and stuff.
Yeah.
So some of that hiding in there.
Lots of oscillating.
Yeah.
I'm so used to saying isolation. That's the word I went to go for first.
Oscillations.
Isolation,
Coronavirus
oscillation.
Disinfect your surroundings.
Yeah, right. Classic meme.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Shout out to Lumpy from Sanction. He's like starting 7 bands while he's like quarantining, all about being in
Damn.
quarantine. So like
Nice.
I shared this on the Calgary
Like Skype jams or
Hardcore.
whatever?
No, it's just him. So
Nice.
he is
Nice.
Just recording.
one of the bands he made called is Keep Ya Distance. And then the song is Keep Da Distance. Shout out to Lumpy. I want to do a podcast with him just off of that, and he's into some other shit, but I just think that's the most
That's
best
great.
thing as far as hardcore bands is concerned.
That's awesome.
Changing hardcore forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, it's
Oh, no.
kind of coming up to that hour mark.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. As far as, is there anything on the new album that you guys still want to hit on? As far as, do you have a locked in date as far as when it's going to be available for people? How many songs? Any details that you want to share with people who
10
want to
songs.
go check it out?
Yeah, it's a 10-track, it's full length.
It's 10 songs. That's it. That's all
yeah.
you get.
Yeah, that's all you get, pretty much.
No,
Yeah.
like roughly right pretty much when summer hits, but maybe a little earlier. We don't have a for sure date. We are just starting to post and kind of get the ball rolling, but we're still going to do a little bit more to add to it, like a music video and stuff. But
Yeah, we're gonna hype some things
We
up.
will
We're gonna
be-
give you a taste, but we'll probably just drop it like once we're ready to go. Like, I mean,
It seemed the card for the audio ran out, so I'm not sure exactly. I think it was somewhere in Frank's story, so it just might be shortened, but we'll hopefully have as much as. Sorry, bud. But
little subtitles. We'll do some subtitles.
yeah,
there.
yeah.
The TLDR, Cannibal Corpse, Iron
Yeah, yeah.
Dragon.
Yeah. Sick show.
Dave, but how about you kind of send us off as far as your favorite, show moment or story before we wrap up?
I guess, yeah, probably my favorite show I've ever been to, which is like probably a little bit more chiller than everybody else's choices. Like my favorite band is Baroness, and I got to see them for the first time last year. And like, it was like a pretty like crazy time in my life at that point. And just like, I don't know, seeing them was like such like like a great reprieve of that time in my life, and like they like played such a fucking this killer set. It's like nailed everything I wanted to see. So I don't know, that's totally like number one on my list.
Sweet.
And then probably like the most like memorable mosh kind of thing is like not like crazy, but is actually my very first like, well, in my opinion, my first like real like hardcore show I've ever been to in Calgary. And it was like after for like a year of like playing in like the New Black, which is like our old all ages venue.
Yeah.
I went to another all ages venue, the
Good
Alibi,
times.
and it was actually SNAKEPIT's very first show.
Oh, the Alibi. Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw them play. I don't remember who. It was weird because I can't even remember who was in the band at that point.
It would have been me, Cody, Dre, and
Andrew
Higgins.
Probably,
It's like weird. Like I know you guys were in it, but like I just can't like picture
And
your
Connor.
pictures at that time. And, like I saw SNAKEPIT and it was so sick. And I remember like people were just like throwing down. I got like super moshed on by like Colton Walters. I'm like,
That's funny. Was that when we were standing in front of that big mirror wall?
oh, yeah.
Because I recall that was one of our first show or
Our
something.
first show at the Alibi
we went nuts for that one.
was on the floor. Yeah, shout out to the Alibi. We
Yeah,
missed that
yeah,
place.
good place.
That place is
Rip in
dope.
peace.
I don't think you were around, Spencer, in those days, but
No, I'm that was before
venue
my
that,
Calgary time.
Yeah.
it was a
Yeah, it was
venue that I helped a lot out with, and it was just a good time.
Dance studio by day.
Dance studio by
Mosh
day,
floor by night.
studio.
Yeah. Yeah. We used to jam there too. Like we'd get together with like 7:30.
A lot of bands jam there,
Yeah,
like Fall City Fall
Yeah.
and Undertaker. We all used to jam there. Like Keenan from Fall City Fall, his sister, like that was her venue.
Oh, cool.
Later than that, because there was a restaurant upstairs and we couldn't start jamming until that restaurant.
It was pretty late. I remember it was always
Like
dark.
9
though.
or something.
Yeah, it was pretty late.
We couldn't jam before 9.
Before
because
9,
the rest
yeah.
of the building was still open.
Yeah.
It's a commercial building.
We were
so.
so loud.
Sweet.
But yeah, no, good times back then.
Very good
Yeah, it was
times.
It was like super funny because like I saw you guys then. I was like, wow, this is like so cool. Like Calgary music is awesome. And like I'm like for years, like I was like, man, SNAKEPIT's like my favorite local band.
That's my first band. Like before we finish real quick, like my first local show I ever saw, first band I ever saw was Take the Shot. I ended up joining Take the Shot, turned Kingsland. It's weird. It's weird how that happens.
Yeah.
And Dave, I love that you mentioned that because for years my favorite local band was Color. House.
Yeah.
And it's so
Oh.
good, man.
It all
Guys.
comes
Family.
around.
But
Big old
I think
family.
we can all agree our favorite local band right now is fucking Trench.
Yeah. No
Killing
kidding.
it.
Yeah. No
Shout out to Trench.
You know, and they're having a hard time releasing their stuff right now too.
Go listen to them when they come out here.
Yeah.
Go check them out.
Yeah, I'll probably time this release to be kind of closer to when you guys are doing stuff, but you know,
Cool.
that record
Yeah.
might already be out and probably
And go
well
listen to it.
into my
Yeah.
circulation.
Heck yeah.
Another great band, so check them out.
Hard,
Good homies.
yes, hard agree. Sweet. Well, thanks so much, guys, for being flexible with this recording day, and super excited that we got to do this. I'm gonna put everyone's like handles on the screen here, but for the audio listeners, if they want to follow up with the band or your guys' personal pages, can we just kind of rattle those off here?
We're in the middle of kind of
So-
changing.
Facebook/SNAKEPIT and pretty much any of our platforms you could find us by looking up SNAKEPIT AB. We're in the process of changing everything to that right now.
Gotcha.
But mostly Facebook. Like if you want to talk to us, hit us up on Facebook or SNAKEPIT AB on Instagram. You could also email snakepitab@gmail.com. But
Hit us up in the
just
inbox.
DM us, man. Like hit us up.
It's not 1997.
Please hit it in my
or
DMs.
just comment on the video, whatever you want.
And stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sanitize.
Definitely go look out for the SNAKEPIT record once that drops. Super excited to hear everything under the mic, and thank you guys again
Thanks,
for sitting down with me today. It was a blast.
Thanks, buddy.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Awesome to talk to you, man.
Bye. Have a good time.